at this point. As I'm making adjustments here and doing these updates, we're just splitting hairs. We're moving the values, very small differences in VE. And what we'll find here is that the closed loop control is tracking fairly accurately, making minimal adjustments, plus or minus 5% at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just store these changes here real quick. Let's actually just update the next cell point here, and then I'll just stop. We'll click Q. That looks pretty good. Let's store these changes to the Motec, and let's just go move ahead into the estimate table tuning, because I'm pretty confident as we go up through, if we're looking at the closed loop control, it was barely trimming at these cell points. A couple percent, plus or minus 5% is acceptable. So that's good. Our VE table is dialed in. Let's move into the estimate table. The estimate table is pretty easy to tune. We're going to use the quick tune function again. What this is going to do is take a look at engine speed versus throttle angle and populate a value in here that's going to make sense, so that if the map sensor fails, it has a backup failsafe to run from. So looking in here, we'll click Q. That's going to adjust our value. Again, more accurately to the cell point location here. We'll click Q again. And just trace through the table here. So nothing complicated with this. Just making sure we are making adjustments. So I'm going to go ahead and update this table the best I can using the data that we've already populated in our data log here. And I'll be back in just a little bit once I've set up this table, and then we'll talk about the next step, which is going to be moving into spark timing tuning and the part throttle, which is fairly simple. I'll talk about the 2 different methods there, and that'll be wrapping it up then for part throttle cruise tuning. So I'll be back here in a few minutes once the estimate table is populated the best I can from my log data. Okay, so I poured through the data log and I've updated the estimate table. This table is based on throttle position, so I really was only varying my throttle angle between roughly 0 to maybe 20, maybe 30% throttle. I really wasn't focused on higher throttle angles. So I really didn't get to populate the higher throttle angle table values here, but we have populated some values to get started with. Now I'm going to do some interpolation within the table. So I'm going to interpolate vertically here from 1500 to 0. We'll do Control H. And then I'm going to horizontally interpolate here between 15 to 35% throttle and just fill some of this table in here. We'll find that, do the same thing here, do the same thing here. Our values should ascend as we go up here in engine speed, and also start to ascend as we go up in throttle angle here. So this gives us a little bit closer table that's going to be matching for our engine as we're going in here and filling everything out. So this looks good here. Just cleaning up some of that table. So I'm going to store that to the Motec. So we've updated the estimate table for typical part throttle conditions, really where we're going to heavily rely on and draw from it if we get into a map sensor failsafe. We want it to be able to limp us home, so these values will give us a simulated map signal to do just that. So that's pretty easy. So once the VE table is dialed in, touch up your estimate table. Now the last thing we want to take a look at here is our spark timing optimization, below about 87.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.